Battling all nerds. This is More Than Dice, the podcast where we dive deep into the realms of everything nerdy. Whether you're a nerd culture connoisseur, a tabletop titan, a miniature gaming marveler, or just someone who proudly embraces their inner geek, this is the podcast for you. And now here's your hosts, Gonzo, Nerd, and Mizzy.
Welcome to episode 302 of More Than Dice. I'm Gonzo.
I'm Nerd.
I'm Mizzy.
And today's episode, we are going to be talking about board games. Ones that we really like, ones that we don't like, ones that we're banned from playing. I'm looking at you two.
I'm looking at you. I'm not banned from anything yet.
And just all around board games and why you should play board games, et cetera, certain things that we wanted to talk about. Because someone decided to go on vacation and leave us in the wind for like 800 years. And so
It's been 84 years.
And so they played a really big board game. And so they wanted to talk about it. And said, well, let's just do a whole board game episode type thing. So
I
we will
have
be
something
talking
for this. No, go ahead. Keep talking.
Oh, okay. Let's go and talk about our sponsors. Let's go and get the business out of the way. We want to thank Turbo Dork for sponsoring the channel and providing us with awesome paints. I will be doing some more Warcaster models with their paint line, so be prepared for that. We want to thank Midnight Heroes for sponsoring the channel. They are doing a summer sale right now where everything on their website is 20% off. I want to thank Creature Caster, the makers of Judgment, which we will be doing I will be painting some Judgment models tonight because I have to get mine ready because we will be doing a battle report on Judgment. Also, don't forget to check out their tribe on My Mini Factory, and you can get not only their models, but also a 3D, you can get a 5th edition module to go with their models that they give you. We want to thank Muse on Minis for hosting our channel and bringing it out. Make sure you go check them out. They're going to have a ton of new things coming up products-wise for various games. And we want to thank Cuttlefish Colors, makers of the Cuttlefish Colors line of paint, which are really good glazes and washes and...
Sketch and glaze system.
The sketch and glaze system is the best way to put it. But they're really good paints for overall, depending on what you're looking for. They do have some base colors, just so everybody didn't know that they do have base colors, so you can paint with base colors. But definitely some paints right there. You can go check them out. They're, of course, on Creature Caster's webpage. So it's been a pretty weird last few podcasts. We had episode 300. We had our Oops All podcast, which we'll do one every so often. Nerd is in charge of that, so when Nerd's ready to do an Oops All or whatever again, we'll do another Oops All podcast, and it'll be Mizzy. We may invite some random dude and dudettes to come and play with us also, just for the fun of it.
It
just all depends. Yeah. Just so we can do some variety. It'll also give you all something different to listen to and watch.
We're here.
And it's also an excuse for us to try out other systems.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
Dragonbane.
Dragonbane, which we probably won't. We'll probably record, but won't be a live one. Just because it's going to be just something for us to do. We'll record it so people can listen to it because we're testing out Dragonbane with some group of people. Which seems to be pretty fun. Captain Mizzy's already created her character. And I had Erica test out creating a character too, because she's never done it before. And it was super easy for her, and she was able to figure it out. And she did it all random. And so you'll actually get to meet her character in game.
Nice.
So I'll play an NPC, Erica's character.
I'm not going to spoil it, but it's based off of something.
Yeah.
And when you run into it, you're going to know.
Yep.
Well,
yes. We will take your nerd card.
Know I'm Darkwing Duck.
That's debatable.
Yeah. But other than that, we've got a lot of things coming up. We've got a lot of things. If you're not following us on Facebook, make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We'll be posting more pictures. Mizzy and I have to do a review of Relic Blade because we played a couple of games. We actually played 2 games of Relic Blade, technically.
We did.
Because the first one,
And I
you kicked the
shot you.
shit out of me.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Kicked your teeth in and shut you off the board.
No, fuck yeah, I did. Because that's what we're going to talk about when we do our review of Relic Blade, type thing. And we'll be doing more. We'll be doing one on Relic. We've got the Relic Blade one to go. We have Judgment to go. We will have one for Infinity. One on Warcrow, which we'll be getting into Warcrow pretty heavily when it comes out because it looks like it's going to be a really good and fun game. Type
and
thing.
It's played on a 3x3 so it can fit on my table.
Yes. We've already got the terrain for that, so no big deal. What else? I think that's all the other. We'll probably do a BattleTech one eventually, but I think we're going to wait for our Kickstarter stuff to come in before we do that.
Yeah.
It'll be an Alpha Strike version of it. We're waiting on that to come in. I do have another RPG coming in called Break. It's based off of anime RPGs. As in, like, Delicious in Dungeon type RPG. So we'll probably be doing that. And so we'll probably do another one on that one. Because it's based on anime, that type of non-serious, not Record of Lotus Wars, but, kind of more, chibi anime style. But that's going to be about another 4 or 6 weeks before that comes in. But we'll do that one. So, I mean, we got a lot of cool stuff coming up. We also have our Wednesday night hangout where you can come hang out with myself and Nerd finally, since she's decided to come back to us.
But I have my other game that I finished.
Yeah.
So for the next few weeks, you get me.
Yeah. And so
until
part
Nerd
of Nerd
comes
will be
back
played
from
by
doing
Mizzy.
nerd things.
yeah. So. And it's just a hangout where we're going to paint models and talk about things. Cookie was talking about models and Cookie bought and everything. So it's just a hangout. One, it lets me get my, groove on for painting. And 2, also, just so we can hang out with friends. Other than that, Nerd, what are you drinking tonight?
I am drinking Bubbler. It is a caffeinated sparkling water
Nice.
with a little bit of juice in it.
I like it. Sounds good.
Yep. Trying
Mizzy?
to stay on the hydrated side of things.
Oh, yeah.
I too am hydrating with Fiji apple water. Or
Fuji.
Fuji. Yeah, words. I can words. Fuji apple water. It's delicious. And it tastes like I'm drinking an actual apple. So,
Gee.
yeah.
I'm
So-
doing the same thing with y'all. I'm doing water, but just plain ordinary, out of the refrigerator filtered water with ice.
Hydration.
It does the body good.
Yeah.
So yeah, nothing
Hydrate
big.
before you dehydrate.
Yeah.
Hydrate or die straight.
Next week. Was it not next week? The week after that, I may have a drink because my birthday's coming up and it'll be my birthday weekend. So it'll be the day before
That
my
means we
birthday.
get to taunt you about leveling up.
Yeah, I don't give 2 dams type thing. So, guys, we appreciate you listening. We appreciate you watching. We appreciate you hanging out. We appreciate you, checking out the Facebook page or the Instagrams and hitting likes and such. We're going to be asking a few questions on there because we want to hear some feedback from y'all on certain things because we're going to be doing some testing of a lot of new games, a lot of new RPGs, paint. We're going to be doing some reviews of things. It's going to be, we don't want to overflood everybody with what we're doing, but we definitely want to let you know that things are coming. So just be prepared. Other than that, like always, people, please take care of each other. Please look after each other. If you see something, say something. If you hear something, say something. And if you can do something, do something. If you can't, find somebody that will. Because we got to start taking care of each other and looking after each other and doing things. Because we miss y'all. We want to see y'all again and hang out. Which our next hangout will probably be Warfare Weekend. If anybody's going to be to that, we would appreciate if you came and you can come and hang out at Warfare Weekend. I don't have to work it, so I get to play. So
I'm gonna get out of the state again. Yay!
I'm gonna run around like a chicken with my head cut off, taking all the pictures. But stop me and say hi and give me hugs, cause yes.
so cheers.
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 Nerd.
You'll just suddenly see Nerd like angry monkey point at Mizzy and just be like, "Go hug them."
Yes. Yes. Do it.
All right, let me get the webcam going
Okie dokie.
so we can see. 'Cause I'm going to show these. So one of the board games I bought a long time ago, and I bought it just because I'm a huge fan, is the Dragon Prince board game. And it's a miniature board game. Let me go and switch everything around while we're getting it. And I bought it mostly for the miniatures. It's just a little skirmish, not like a Descent type thing, but just a, you put down a battle mat and then you fight, pretty much is what it is. But it's very simple, but it does come with miniatures. So
You can show them off better on this cam now.
yeah, so let me see.
Focus.
Get the focus going.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Soren. Nice. Nice.
I loved Soren on the boat. Oh my god. Anyway,
I love Soren with his new friend.
I am getting ahead of myself. That's for media time. Anyway.
But so I had
We
a
could
friend of
talk about
mine.
Dragon Prince
Painted these for me because I asked him. I was like, of course I paid him.
forever.
All I did was say, hey, paint him like the TV show. Type thing. I mean, they're little
That
plastic
spell
miniatures.
looks so good.
Yes.
Ooh, Claudia.
She's got a little bit of glow on the back.
Nice. Whatever her father's name is, whose name is eluding me.
Varen?
Yeah.
Viren.
Varen.
This is one of
Barrett.
my favorite characters in the entire show.
Amaya. Oh, hands down.
And the
It
reason
has
why
been determined that my character Zedish is a cross between Amaya and Janai. And
The
I'm
reason-
not mad at it.
I really like her character is in not only, is the character deaf and has to do sign language, they actually do sign language correctly in the show.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's
Because
legit.
it's legit. And then, of course, everybody's favorite.
Bait them. Bait them. Yes.
There's definitely something that I took from season 5 and used in our campaign, Mizzy. And I'll explain that when we get to the media section.
But so this, the reason why we brought up the discussion of doing board games because Nerd went and played a shit long board game. But before we do that, we need to talk about board games now, as in board games then. Now, originally, board games, Monopoly. That's kind of where it started, and then
Trivial Pursuit.
yeah, that type of stuff.
Sorry.
And then it started branching out, and people started making board games that, take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Twilight Imperium can be an all-day game.
Mm-hmm.
Type
Catan
thing.
can turn into an all-day game.
Yeah. That's the stuff that can happen, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You just need to make sure and be prepared that, hey, guys, this game is, a 12-hour board game before we get started. And you set up days for that. You get together with your friends. You're like, hey, we're doing this game, but it's going to be a 12-hour board game type thing. And, there's a time and a place. Sometimes you don't feel like doing that. Sometimes you do. I prefer games like that because you get a lot of good stuff and a lot of cool things happen. But, not everybody can. And so you have different, games for different people.
Sometimes you have ADD squirrels.
Yes.
And that's
And
okay.
the thing is board games are starting to get very, very, very expensive.
Mhm.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand is, take Gloomhaven. Gloomhaven is a great game. It's a dungeon crawling type board game, but 150 or more dollars. So it can be, super, super expensive type thing, which, they deserve the money for their products that they're making. So we're not dogging that. It's just, you've got to be prepared. I'm going to be working on some of these. I got these last bit of terrain pieces for, I'm making for our Warcrow board, some fences
Gotcha.
and barricades. So, and it's just a simple wash, simple contrast wash for it, and then a little bit of dry brush. But get it kind of in focus. And so board games can get to be simple and easy. Like the Dragon Prince one. It's just a simple move and kill each other, and beat each other up. You can play multiple versions of it. Maybe it takes an hour to do it. But then you've got things like, Gloomhaven or Fife or what else do I have over here?
Axis and Allies.
Yeah, Scythe.
It's been around for a long time.
You've got it's another it's actually a single player game too, so which is actually kind of cool.
So the one I played, I just realized I was just looking something up about it.
Yeah, and that I think that's a really cool aspect that they've done is some of the board games are now single player. Which means that if you don't have a lot of friends, but you want to do something cool and fun, sure, no problem. Let me do it.
Or if all your friends are busy and have lives and schedules don't work, then yeah, that's a thing.
It is a thing, and I think that's a really good thing that's been happening with board games is they've been like, yeah, this is cool, but I can't get 6 of my friends to play. So why am I going to get this board game? So having single player board games, I think, is a really good thing that's come out that people have realized. Because maybe I want to do a dungeon crawl, but I don't want to do it with 6 other people, or I can't get 6 people to come out and hang out, for 6 hours. So
or all my friends that live in different states.
or that too. You always have. There's always something. It's hard enough for us to get together to hang out, period, and then try to get everybody to come for a board game is even worse.
Yes.
But before we get started on all this, let's talk about something that Captain Mizzy said about being banned from playing board games. So this came up, and I'm actually banned from playing a board game with a group of people because of how I played. Now, I didn't cheat. I didn't break any rules. I just did exactly what they asked, but did my own thing while it was waiting. So I was playing a game of Risk, and we had actually taken 2 Risk boards and put them side by side. And so we were playing double Risk. And I was on one side, doing, I can't remember what faction or group or whatever nation I was on. But the guy that was next to me was like, hey, I want to attack you. You don't attack me. Let's do that for so many rounds. And then at the end of it, then we can go after each other. So I'm like, okay, I made that deal. Well, I also looked to the guy that was on the other board and I said, hey, they're making this deal not to attack each other, not for me to attack them so they can attack everybody else. And I said, I actually text this guy on his phone. I says, so why don't you make that deal also that you won't attack anybody also while they work on everything else? And, so it went that way. So what happened was while the rest of the group was fighting each other, me and this one guy were doing nothing but building our armies up. And we told them that, the rules were, we won't attack you for X amount of rounds. But after that, it's fair game. Well, they ignored us so much and didn't care what we were doing that we amassed an army so big that on our turn, and what we did is we took out their entire side of the board, both of us, in a few turns and wiped everybody out. And he controlled one of the boards. I controlled the other board. And we looked at each other and went, truce? And he goes, truce. And we ended the game. and so we played by the rules of the game, which was, hey, don't attack me, I won't attack you. You can do whatever, so on and so forth. But what we did is we just stockpiled our armies until we were ready. And once we were ready, we just let it go. And we just destroyed everybody in existence because they ignored us. And so they got really, really mad at both of us because we did this. And so that group of people will never play Risk with us again. And I'm like, I did nothing wrong. I abided by the rules and the contract. You're just butthurt that I went and kicked the shit out of you after that time frame was over. So, I'm not allowed to play Risk with these people. But I haven't played Risk with these people in forever, and I haven't even seen those people in forever either. But that's the only board game that I've been banned from playing.
I am not banned from playing Risk, but I have a very distinct memory of playing Lord of the Rings Risk, and two of my friends, both named Jeff, ended up with different nicknames. One of them ended up Vindictive Jeff, and the other one was Evil Jeff. And in a game like that, you can only imagine how that went down.
Oh my.
But ironically, it was also before the third movie came out, so we only had 2/3 of the map because whatever company put that out decided, oh yeah, we'll just release what's available or what's been released so far. We'll just put that much of the map, and then you had to go buy the third chunk of the map or buy a whole new version just to get the whole map.
That's rough.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Risk in my house, growing up, it was, my parents had kept score in the lid of our Risk box of who won. They had tallies who won each game. And it ended up being a pretty close to 50-50 split.
Nice.
But yeah, Risk is one that I will not play anymore. It's fun though. I don't know that I'm actually banned from playing any. Mizzy, are you?
I personally am not banned from any games, but in our friend group where I do play a lot of board games with, the number one banned game because of one particular person is Monopoly. And it's because this person is so petty anyway, but the amount of pettiness that Monopoly brings out in this person is unhuman. So we don't do that.
I got banned from being on the same team as someone else when we played Cranium back in the day.
Okay.
Because we would just wipe the floor with people.
Well, it
was like, yeah, put the two ADHD kids together. They know how to communicate with each other. I also remember actually, no, I take that back. I am banned, but the game doesn't exist anymore. This was back in the day of movie trivia games when they came with a DVD.
Oh.
But I would beat entire teams before they even got halfway around the board, and people didn't like that. I'm just like, I'm sorry, I'm a sponge.
So what was that?
I don't remember. Then I think it was called Seen It.
Oh yeah, Seen It.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would beat entire. I would play solo and beat teams before they even made it halfway around the board.
Oh damn!
They were just like, no, you're not allowed. You're not allowed to play anymore. But there is a game that ended up getting banned post high school because of injuries we sustained playing it.
Oh my god.
What did you do?
Are you familiar with the game Slap?
Oh my.
Where you put your hands on someone else's? Cards. Oh, yes.
Oh no, people would get their fingers jammed. People would wear heavy rings. It got brutal.
Oh yeah.
I was also banned from playing rat decks in Magic the Gathering because that was about the age when I started putting googly eyes on them. Because I could find teeny tiny googly eyes and I would put them on all of my rats and just kill everybody. I didn't actually own it. That was the only deck that I was allowed to own because my brother had so many extras. He's just like, here, just make a rat deck. You can practice at home. And then I started playing it at school, like during lunch or after school. And they're just like, no.
No googly head friend for you.
Nope. But I think other than Axis and Allies, what is one of the longest games? Like, I had an Axis and Allies games that would last weekends.
No, I've had like 5, 6, 7 hour type things because I've played Twilight Imperium and stuff like that because those games can take forever. Type thing. But I remember when I started buying board games, I was like, oh my God, this game's going to take 6 hours to play. And of course, it takes like 1 or 2 hours to set up. And then you can start playing. So you set it up before your friends come over. Android, I played, which took a while. And it was a good, fun game. I had some games that I had. One of the things that I did is I was able to amass a large amount of board games because when I would go to tournaments for War Machine, you would get store credit if you got first, second, or third. And so I always got store credit like crazy. And so I would use that store credit to buy board games. I was like, here, I'm just going to buy a board game, with my store credit. And I eventually amassed like 100 plus board games at one point. And I never even got to play all of them. There's just too much to that. And so I started purging my board games, which is okay. But I think Twilight Imperium, that was an all-day thing. But that game is meant to be played as an all-day.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. I think the one that we played took so long because it was our first time playing it.
Yeah,
we were all figuring it out as we went.
Yeah. There's a lot of board games that have that now.
I feel like that's to be expected, especially on your first playthrough.
It was hands down the so I played Witcher: The Old World, which is from Go On Games. It was kickstarted. But hands down the most involved game, at least in terms of just the number of pieces or cards and stuff that you could draw from. But you play as a Witcher and you level yourself up and go around different parts of the world. You have to wait until you're like high enough level to take on like X monster that's in this location. But you can get like every time you travel to another location, you either gain gold or you gain abilities, or you can like go either search the city or search the wilds. And there's different encounters there. It was actually a lot of fun. And the minis, the monster minis, awesome.
Nice.
And they ranged in size from like small to rather large, and for the detail level on the plastic minis, I was very, very impressed.
Or you can get, and that's the thing is, everything, the miniature games in plastic has gotten a whole lot better over the years.
Yeah.
It's just, are you willing to pay, is the game company willing to pay to get that plastic, done? Because that's, one, you're most likely doing it through China, and two, you've got to wait. But, if it's done right, you can get really good plastic miniatures.
Yeah. Now, is Witcher Old World a Gloomhaven, Frosthaven sized game? No. It is probably about half the size of the box, but it's still a good size. And that was, I think there was 2 or 3 boxes just for what we played. But I've seen a Gloomhaven setup, and this was pretty close in terms to the number of like tokens and cards and stuff that have to get set up for everything. Plus your whole other bin just of minis.
Because minis.
What do we encounter next? and you draw for it, or either draw or roll for it. So, but everything's based on D6. You can gamble against each other, basically playing dice poker.
Whether they're gonna win or lose.
Yeah, well, you get it. It just depends. You each put a gold in, or 2 gold. Whoever wins gets all the money.
Gotcha. And who was singing "Coin for Your Witcher" the whole time y'all were playing?
It definitely came up a few times.
Of course.
So all of you.
Probably at some point or another. If we weren't humming it, one of us was singing it.
Knowing the group that you played with, all of that checks.
Yeah, I think the one that hummed would be Grim.
Yes.
Yeah. But no, it was fun. It wasn't a stressful game, which I really enjoyed. Like, it was involved, but it kept you engaged the whole time, and like everything felt well paced.
So you weren't waiting for your turn and just sitting around and doing nothing?
Everybody has a number of steps or actions that they can do on their turn, so you have to kind of wait because there's like 3 or 4 of them that you do each round. So that can take a little bit, especially if you're resolving any sort of monster combat. But it's fun to watch and see what the others are up to, because be like, oh no, I was headed there, you took my quest, kind of a thing. But you can also gain like followers or sidekicks, and like Dan kept collecting children unintentionally. You're just like, oh look, I saved a little girl, I guess she's gonna stay here. Oh no, I saved this little boy, I guess he's staying too. But no, it comes down to one person eventually winning, I think, when they hit like max level and have defeated a certain number of monsters.
Who became the most powerful Witcher?
Yes. Who is the greatest? Oh, what about favorite games? I think we should break this down between board game and card game. So we'll do favorite of each. Oh, because I definitely have 2 very different answers for that.
I have a game that I want to play that I haven't been able to because it's going to be a long one, and it's called Fife, and you actually play through like generations of people. And I own like that thing. Yeah, so it's kind of an interesting game. Haven't been able to play it yet, but I mean I've read the rules, but I've had it for forever. But I like games that are cooperative more than competitive. Like a Gloomhaven Descent style type thing are good and fun. For board games, like Call of Cthulhu type stuff, where we're trying to, solve it and we have to beat, X, Y, Z, or the game's over.
Like Arkham Horror.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because Arkham Horror is pretty good. It allows you to, you're competing against something else, but it's not, you're not competing against each other per se. What are the other ones? Card games. There's not many card games that I've been playing. We have played some Lorcana, and that's fun and simple and easy. Mm-hmm.
I took mine with me. We did not get around to playing it though.
It's like the biggest thing. Everybody takes stuff like, oh, who's gonna bring Magic so we can play Magic together, and we bring it, and And
then we get busy.
And then we get busy. It gets way too busy.
Such is life.
Yeah.
But Warfare Weekend.
You could bring it there, and then we'll do the same thing.
It travels so easy. I just throw the boxes in my luggage and go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because why we have cards don't get everywhere.
Yes.
So. Yeah. Let's see. I like cooperative, but I'm competitive enough that my favorite board game is probably Trivial Pursuit, because that was the game that I think I played the most growing up, but I also am like a hardcore Scrabble nerd. Like I love my classic games.
Classics are a classic for a reason. You know, Trivial Pursuit is a regular one that we have in our board game group. But we play a lot, so it's really hard to pick just one. Hands down, though, my favorite card game, Cards Against Humanity. Because, yes.
I'm really sad that one of the things that disappeared before we moved and that I couldn't find it and still haven't found it is I had kickstarted the Cyanide and Happiness card game.
Oh
Which-
my.
And I had the red box with the swearing on it. And it had all the Kickstarter cards. And I'm like, where did it go? And I'm
That
completely
sounds so fun.
what is the name of that game? Now I can't totally Joking Hazard. There we go.
I love it.
But that one, that is a very close second to Cards Against Humanity. We are slowly rebuilding our cards because, yeah, I had a few games go missing in the last couple of years. I have somehow misplaced or lent out and forgotten who. But yeah, Cards Against Humanity is definitely up there. You learn a lot about people's sense of humor playing that game.
Oh yeah.
Quickly,
And
too.
It's really
yeah.
fun to see who matches your energy the most to. Like, in our friend group, I would say probably the one that matches my sense of humor the best is actually our friend Nikki. And Nikki is she's amazing, honestly. But she's one of those people that she'll give you shit and talk trash about you, but she'll do it in the most loving way. And it shows. It's really fun to see what the two of us come up with, especially when we're sitting right next to each other.
Nice.
Board game wise,
You haven't even talked about your board game that you love the most right now.
I haven't, no, and I need to play more of it. So I became obsessed with Rem Racers over Adepticon because I did a demo and I fell in love with it, and I'm like, oh my god. And how they describe it is basically Mario Kart board game, and yes. So I've played it twice with one other person, and I need more people to play it with me.
Yeah, the game is much more fun with more racers. Because when one person gets ahead and they get too far ahead, it's almost impossible to catch up to it.
It's really hard, yeah.
Not impossible.
It's also really hard when you're playing on a chaos track that some nerd decided to just say, I'm going to do what I want.
Hey.
Blue shell for everyone.
Not my fault you couldn't catch me and blow me up.
Yes, it is.
See, what is my most favorite recent board game? Okay, if it's a tile game, does that count as a board game?
Yeah, any type of thing.
Okay. Carcassonne, I am absolutely obsessed with. It's a castle and like farm builder.
Mm-hmm.
Like you build out different things and you score it. Like it's one that I've been playing digitally, but I also have physical copy, and I've just been playing that like absolute crazy. I love that it's different every single time you play. You can play against
Michael.
multiple people, or you can just play against the computer. It's nice.
Nice.
What about our most hated games or games that we tried and just like absolute no?
I won't do anything like, Monopoly or anything like that because it just bores the shit out of me.
Fair. What was yours, Mizzy?
Pick your poison. So it's basically a would you rather game,
Okay.
but the rules are very complicated as far as like scoring, and it messed with the fun of it. So I was just meh.
That's how I felt about Sushi Go. I did not like the scoring system at all.
I haven't actually played Sushi Go.
You own
It was
Sushi Go.
I had it
I
gifted
own
to me.
Sushi Go because Erica likes it. Words. Hydrate.
No, I had jelly bean stuck. Try not to choke on candy. Sugar. Yeah. Sushi Go was like an instant no, but yeah, Monopoly definitely falls into that. It's just nobody ever seems to have fun unless it's like a specific like branded or themed one.
Mm-hmm.
Most people seem to just not want to play that anymore.
Yeah.
Now, like, I remember playing Monopoly when I was growing up with my family, and, like, yeah, we had a good time with it. But now, interests have shifted, and how my brain works has shifted, too. Which plays a big part of what my choices are going to be.
Yeah.
So,
like, we never owned Life, or, like, the game of Life or anything like that when I was growing up. It was primarily, like, strategy games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we had a lot of like 2-player strategy games, either like Stratego or Othello, or Mastermind, which is a pattern guessing game.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, know that game.
Yeah, like as hard as Mastermind, I was obsessed. Yeah, Othello is boss cookie. I'm totally down. Thanks, Knuckles. But yeah, we ended up playing a lot of like party games when it got to be like family holidays. Like when Cranium came out, that became real popular because it had so many different categories. But I did, however, make the mistake once of playing Cards Against Humanity against my own father.
Oh.
I thought I was going to be the one embarrassing him, and how wrong I was. That man has so many more years experience on me, and he was a middle school teacher for 30
you
years.
Sweet summer child.
I know. I am a sweet summer child. I should have known.
Bless your
I
heart.
should have known. Thankfully it did not scar me for life. My dad's got a good enough sense of humor. But it was never it was never something that was repeated.
Yeah, that game will go, oh shit, you're fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, no, just my sense of humor is fucked up.
Well, that's one of the things I liked about Joking Hazard. It was like a visual version of Cards Against Humanity. It was Finish the Comic Strip.
Yeah.
Is the premise of the game. I also enjoy Exploding Kittens and Bears versus Babies, both from the Oatmeal.
So I have to tell a story, and it's about exploding kittens. So there used to be a game convention called Midwest Melee, or it was like Midwest Melee or something like that. No, it wasn't Midwest Melee. It was I can't remember. I have a T-shirt from it, but it was a War Machine convention I used to go to, and so there's my friend Nick. My friend Nick is amazing. This guy is so stupid smart, it's not even funny. He designs his own game. He actually designs games right now. He's the guy that we had on for Heavy Gear.
Okay.
And Nick is an amazing friend of mine. I love him to death, and he's super smart. And at one point, we were at this convention, and he comes in late and goes to lay down. Well, I'm still up and everything, and a friend of mine, Kim, is up, and we're sitting there just BSing. Nick falls asleep. Nick has a thing of talking in his sleep. And so we're sitting there, and we're just chatting about our day, game, socializing and stuff on the bed. And Nick, dead in his sleep, sits straight up and goes, "Exploding kittens, boom, bazooka!" And then lays back down and goes to sleep. And I was like, we both looked at each other and like, yep, that's Nick.
That's fantastic.
Because I guess he played it before, he went to bed, and I'm not sure if he was drinking or anything, but anytime I hear about exploding kittens, it reminds me of Nick's thing, and it's so hilarious. I don't, it's not a tease or anything, but it's just a great fun thing to say because Nick just when he talks in his sleep is just hilarious. And it was just like he just like sat straight up and was like exploding kitten, boom, hurrah, bazooka, and just went right back to sleep. And so we were like, holy shit. So FYI.
That's great. Another fun game is Telestrations.
Yeah, is that the one
Yeah.
where you switch between a phrase and a picture?
Yes.
Okay, so I was introduced to that game under the name Eat Poop You Cat.
Oh.
I'm not kidding. That's how that game was introduced to me before the board game ever existed in my world. it was somebody that had come out of the military. I was told this was the name of this game, and we just played it with paper. And we had a binder full of all the weird drawings and phrases that and how things would just get absolutely destroyed playing that game.
It's so fun. And like
or like the weird
and you see your friend's thought process is like, how did you get that out of that?
We know where your brain is right now. The gutter.
Oh yeah, all of us, all the time.
Oh yeah. Hands down. I think somebody had started one with Happiest Place on Earth. And you know where that went. Not Disney World. Like, yeah. But no, Telestrations is great fun. Have you ever heard of a game called Gloom?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Gloom is great fun. So the premise is it's a storytelling game. So everybody has a family. Your goal is to make them suffer as much as possible before they each die. It's very macabre. But each card has like a little story prompt, and you basically explain what happened to this person each time you draw a new card. Like, oh, this happened to this person and this was the consequences. And then when they die, you give a little like mini eulogy.
That sounds fun.
But all of the art, they're like see-through cards too. So you can lay them on top of your family card so you can see what the different things total up to. But still be able to read your card. So that's kind of fun. Oh, a friend of yours was one of the designers for Gloom. That's cool, Michael.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
One game that I really liked was Hobbit Tales. What it was,
I didn't know about this.
Hobbit Tales is a story game. Also, you're dealt so many cards, and you have to say what's happened. Use the card as a descriptor for what your tale is doing. And if you tell the certain tale, you got to buy drinks, and whoever had the most drinks given out or whatever was the winner. But it was a good storyteller type thing where here's your card. I actually used it when I was a teacher to help kids, for writing prompts. And stuff to get there, to get creative thinking going, and use the picture, and you told what happened in the picture, and then you laid down another card, and they went this, and then you would do the same thing, and someone would go, yeah, but while that happened, they could interrupt the story and go, yeah, but that's not what really happened. What really happened was this, and it was just a good fun type game.
Does sound like fun.
Hobbit Tales was pretty good. I recommend it as a good story, fun, type game. Nothing major, big, or wrong with it. Just very simple. Other games I have, Dark Deeds, which is a dungeon crawler card game where you go in to get the treasure, but when you get out, you have to kill your friends to get the treasure because the only person that wins is the last person with the treasure. So you have to work together to get it and then take the money and run. Machikoro. It's sort of like a Monopoly style type game, but it is a little bit better building and buying of things. Of course, Gloomhaven's always a good game. It's a good Descent style, dungeon run type thing.
What about go-to party games?
Oh, go-to party games? Werewolf is always a go-to party game. I will tell you, at
Okay.
Warfare Weekend, they have there's a section at Warfare Weekend where our friend Clint plays Clifton that plays a werewolf game, and it's like everybody gets together and plays werewolf all night.
Yeah,
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, and that one's always a good and easy, and he knows how to do it really well and gets people involved, and they have a good time with it, which is good.
I enjoy watching it.
Yeah, I enjoy watching it more than playing it because I always get in trouble.
You in trouble? What?
I always like kill Gonzo no matter what.
One of my favorites because of the simplicity of things, but it can get complicated fast if you want it to, or depending on what cards you draw, is any of the Flux games.
Super easy to play.
Yeah, it's also it's in the same vein as like We Didn't Play Test This.
Yeah. I've never heard of Cube of Death, Art of Michael. One game that
I don't know that one.
I have
I'm gonna
almost
check that out.
everything, but there has been a Kickstarter for it for every single card was Munchkin.
Oh yeah, I have all but I have all but one of the expansions for the vanilla set, and then I have like a few other. I have several versions of
Yeah.
Munchkin.
I have a Rick and Morty Munchkin that I would like to play with somebody. Nerd.
I have a signed. I have one signed by John Kovalik. That's the Conan Munchkin. I've never actually played it. It's still in the. It's still in. It's opened because he had to have signed it, but he was apparently from Madison, and a friend of mine was just like, "Wait, Nerd likes Munchkin, right? Wait, which one does she not have?" Because at the time, I think I had 6 or 8 versions of Munchkin.
Nice.
So.
I haven't played Scythe, which I want to play, but I bought it because it was everybody was all into it. I do have a copy of the Illuminati, which is super super old by Steve Jackson Games. Really
I've
old game.
played Illuminati.
And we actually tell people we can't play full Illuminati rules because we would steal from the board or steal from the bank, and if you didn't get caught, it didn't it didn't matter. And we were like, okay, we're not going to play that version. I have a game called Nevermore, which is based off of
Neil Gaiman.
Edgar Allan Poe's poem, which I haven't played yet.
I was thinking Neverwhere, not Nevermore.
Yeah. Suro, which is a game where you lay down tiles and you move, based on that, and whoever's the last one standing. Yeah. I've got that. I played that with my kids a lot when I was teaching, because it talks about, predictive and, thinking ahead type thing. So that one's a good one. That one's a good, quick and easy board game. You just pick a piece and start.
One that I would love to get my hands on that I really enjoyed playing at a game weekend was King of Tokyo.
Oh yeah, played that.
King of Tokyo was fun. Yeah.
That checks.
Or what was the other one?
Why would I not like that?
There was a board game that we used to play, and it's less of a board game, but more of a card game, which was called Battle Wizards or Epic Spell Wars. Yeah, Epic Spell Wars is what it is you play a wizard, and you're supposed to, you get 3 cards, and you have to lay them down, and you have to do the spell, and you're like, Mighty Hammer of, and you have to do this whole, you have to actually, act like you're casting it and stuff, and, say, and it's like, you'll say some of the stupidest shit, too. And it's just good rolling, fun, laughter thing, but Epic Spell Wars was one, Battle Wizards, Epic Spell Wars, and that was a good party game. And it's just good fun. Not a big, crazy get into it, and it's fairly cheap, type thing. But I mean, it's a board game / card game in a way.
My go-to party games are Jackbox.
Yes, I will agree with that. That has become my go-to party game now. I'll occasionally just message people like Jackbox, 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 Jackbox.
And you
Because there's
always
so many.
and you almost always message me when there's something going on, and I'm like, I want to play, but I'm so tired, or I have to do this.
Yeah.
So for people who don't know what Jackbox is, what is Jackbox? Mizzy?
It is a plethora of party packs of different games that you can choose from. So like they have TKO, where you can design t-shirts and make slogans, and like if you really like it, then you can order it. There's Junktopia, where you get turned into frogs and you have to like create stories from the different items
it's
that you buy.
It's Fantasy Antiques Roadshow, but
Yeah.
you have to sell. Whoever makes the most money gets turned into a human again.
Frogs are cooler.
Oh yeah.
Some of those knees are just weird. What else is there, nerd? Help me out.
There's Quiplash, where it's a fill in the blank. There's lots of those. There's Murder Trivia Party. There's Jack Naughty Bot. No,
it's
Do
new.
tell.
It's on their social media that they've been pimping it pretty hard. But I mean, Jetbucks is always naughty with us.
Yeah.
So that's a thing. What else is there?
There's so many. There's cooperative games like well, I like Fibbage. That's the lying game where you have to try and find the lie.
Yes.
Robot
Rap Battle, yeah.
Yes, Robot Rap Battle. I'm going through like ones that we have played.
Oh, what was that one internet troll game?
Oh, Survive the Internet.
Yes.
Yeah, the internet trolling game. That one's another fun one. But yeah, Jackbox, there's like 10 or 12 different, like not including the numbered ones. Or including the numbered and not numbered. I think there's like 11 or 12 different packs, in each one a minimum of like 4 to 5 games.
Yeah.
So, but the nice thing is only one person needs to own it, and then you just give a code to your friends and can have several of your friends play that. I also have RiffTrax, the game, which is
RiffTrax is good, yeah.
Yeah, where you come up with the next line of dialogue for weird movie clips. Oh. But yeah. All right, it is almost time for media.
So, I mean, like I said, there's a good reason to have board games instead of always working on certain things. There's a plethora of stuff. They can get expensive. They can get pretty expensive actually if you think about it and look at some of them. But you also need to know what you are doing compared to what everybody else and who you're playing with. Type thing. If you have a board game that you're interested in or you think is pretty cool, drop it in our chat when we post this on Facebook, and we'll get to it. Let's get to some media. Nerd says she has like 17 things this time.
One of them is so good it doesn't even get a rating.
I have maybe 2, so have at it, guys.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And one of that's combined with mine.
Yes.
Are you breaking stuff again, Mizzy?
I am not breaking things. It is just gravity is grabbing my things. It's fine.
So
You win again, gravity.
So my first one. It's on Netflix. I decided, somebody was like, "Oh, this isn't as bad as I thought it was," and so I'm like, "Okay, I will go ahead and watch it." And it's Atlas on Netflix. Atlas is a story about AI that has taken over the planet and killed like millions of people, and the main AI, the leader of the AI revolution, flees the planet. Jennifer Lopez is the main actress in this. That's all you need to know.
Okay.
It's bad. This show is everything is completely predictable. Most of the movie, everything's filmed in front of a green screen. Very few sets. Most of it is filmed from her inside the cockpit of this mecha suit, and everything's predictable. We can't sync up unless you tell me all your deep, dark secrets. And then once we're synced up at 100%, we can become the most powerful synced up warrior, even though you've never learned to fight in this suit ever in your entire life. That type of thing. She's got the Mary Sue going
Sounds
on.
Mm.
The mechs were kind of neat. The story and pretty much AI did write the script. It was pretty bad. The premise isn't bad. I mean, AI takes over the world, and they finally get down to the last. They finally find the guy, and he actually leaves the planet, and they go find him on this planet. But the writing is horrible. The acting is bad. The special effects weren't even that great either, and it cracked me up because I was like, they sent down this platoon of people, and they all got wiped out in like 2 seconds. But her, that has never been in this suit ever and is not 100% synced up with 100% synced up to the suit, is able to dodge and dive and duck and do all this cool stuff and get all these things and become this super ninja mech warrior fighter. And when they finally get it synced up, they can take out everything in the world, and it still didn't even matter. It was bad, and I hope that they don't make a part 2. Because there's an option for a part 2. And I'm like, holy fuck, please don't make a part 2. It was bad. This game gets like, it's not even it's a 4 space herpes type show. It's just really, really not good. Jennifer Lopez isn't a great actress to begin with. The story wasn't great. All the characters weren't even memorable. It was just, I felt bad watching it. And I laughed at it like I did. I know Arda Michael says it felt that way about Madam Web. I was laughing at it because it was so bad. And it was saying, I was even predicting lines. I was like, they would say something, and then I would go, they're going to say this. And they did. And I was like, shit, I could have wrote something better. Type thing. I was just like, not happy with it. So it is a major skip. Do not watch it. Downvote it before you even watch it so you can get it out of the way. Mizzy?
So I actually lied, and I remembered that I have 3 to talk about.
Ooh.
So, right? So my first one is actually not anything that you can watch. It's something that you can listen to.
Mm-hmm.
It is the soundtrack to Hades Town.
That's going to be coming here locally, and we're going to go see it.
So this time last year, actually, it came to my local theater, and Eric and I got to go see it in person, and I fell in love with it. It is so amazing. It's like a jazzy storytelling of the story of Hades and Persephone, and then what's his name? Eurydice and Orpheus?
Yeah, Eurydice and Orpheus.
Yeah, and it's so beautiful seeing it in stage or live as a performance. I gave the performance 0 spacer because it was just so beautiful. But I got in the mood this week to listen to the soundtrack again because you can do that, and it's still just amazing, and I love it. And the characters are just so yes. But because it is not as great seeing it live, I do have to give the soundtrack a 0.5. Because you have to see it in person to just absorb everything.
That's how I feel about Avenue Q. I feel like I'm missing an entire level of that show, only ever listening to the soundtrack.
Oh, yeah. I've seen Avenue Q live. It's hilarious.
All right. So I'm going to start with Furiosa. Went to see that in the theater. I'm not sure that it's better than it is definitely not better than Fury Road, but it's still really good. It's George Miller again, so at least it's got the same hands on it that the previous. It's not like a new director or something like that. But Chris Hemsworth as the bad guy, once you get past the big fake nose, pretty good character. You can't help but stare at the fake nose that's on his face for the entire movie. But I don't know. I felt like I wanted him to be more evil than he was. Like he wasn't a sympathetic villain, but I wanted more evil. But it was a great fun. We absolutely enjoyed it. I give it like 1.5, 2.
Okay.
Not amazing, but it was still a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been doing really bad in the theater, which is very interesting because everybody that's seen it says they enjoyed it, but it's like making no money. But I think this is the trend of theaters now, and nobody really wants to go to the theater hardly. When they know it's going to come streaming. Yeah, one, it's going to be expensive for people. Two, it's going to come to streaming shortly. And, people are like, oh, so. So it came on Netflix yesterday, and it was secretly came on Netflix, and a lot of people don't know it's on Netflix. Godzilla -1.
Wait.
It's on Netflix right now. Yeah.
Shit.
You good over there, nerd?
Just when I get home from having access to Netflix.
So yeah, Godzilla -1 is on Netflix right now. We didn't think the United States was going to get it in Netflix, for whatever reason, but it came into, and so we got Godzilla -1 on Netflix. So I watched it yesterday. It was actually pretty good. Special effects were good. Story was good. It's the story of Godzilla. We know what it is. But it's like the start of Godzilla, because Godzilla at one point is a little bitty tiny lizard. So it's actually, a good starting jumping point type thing. This is not associated with Monarch, so it's a completely different type thing. I did watch it dubbed because I have a problem with subtitles. I can't concentrate very well on subtitles, so it is dubbed in English. But it was really good. It didn't make me, wait or want, but it showed more of the aspect of Godzilla from the person's view instead of from the Godzilla view. And on the ground view type thing. Like, I'm running away from Godzilla and shit, the person behind me just got squished, type thing. It was more of a piece of from the person's point of view than from like the military's point of view. Type thing, the survivors type stuff, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. Special effects were amazing. They were good and fun. Characters are great. Godzilla was interesting. So I enjoyed it. I give it 1 space RP because there was a little slow part, but it wasn't bad. But it was still a good Godzilla movie. There's a reason why it did really well and got in the theaters twice.
Hit you right in the feels.
Yeah. So, I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a blast.
Yeah, it definitely brought in the human aspect of the Godzilla movies, and it wasn't just like Godzilla is actually like a side character.
Yeah, like I said, this is more of the story of the people that are affected by Godzilla than Godzilla. And not the military, from the military aspect. It's more of everyday, ordinary people.
Yeah.
Type thing.
So, Mister?
So my second one is going to be a Studio Ghibli movie.
What?
Yeah, because My Neighbor Totoro is so fucking cute and adorable. And again, Erica hadn't seen it, so I had to fix that. Super cute story. super fun. Love every minute of it. The kids screaming do kind of get a little annoying for me, but I can forgive it because I know that that's the intention of it. But the animation is fantastic. Love it. So give it 1, just because those kids are annoying sometimes. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you haven't watched My Neighbor Totoro, go watch it. Because, yes, Studio Ghibli. Nerd?
I watched the new Jim Henson documentary on Disney Plus, the one that Ron Howard made called Idea Man, and it's absolutely just fantastic. I've always loved Jim Henson and his creations.
Oh, yeah.
There was a lot of stuff that I already knew, like there was a lot of, but there was still new information. The best part was seeing like behind the scenes interviews, like while he's doing a photo shoot, or like him in his studio, and some of the stuff that weren't in the quote unquote like DVD extras for some of his movies. And you learn a lot more about his like family and personal life, and it's just, unfortunately, we all know how we can all guess where the movie or where the documentary ends. And so like I was bawling by the end of it, but it was still really really good, and it was cool learning about the technical side of like, and also like where he started with an advertising and why he even got into puppeteering. Like he did it to get into television. He didn't start out as a puppeteer. He just wanted to be on TV, so he took a puppeteering job.
Yeah, there's Jim
And
Henson.
now look at him.
Yeah, did growing up did a lot, because I mean, The Dark Crystal is one of my favorite movies of all time, and that movie is just so well. Which I have the RPG, which is really really cool, by the way. The Dark Crystal RPG is really good. You play all Gelflings.
Gelflings,
Yeah.
my favorite based on Gelflings.
Yeah, but I mean, people don't realize how big of an impact he was now compared to when it came out when I was a teenager or a kid. All the stuff that he did and everything that happened, Labyrinth, the Muppet, the puppeteering he did there, Dark Crystal, the Muppet Show, and we can go on and on and on with everything. But yeah, it was he was one of those people that made some really cool stuff, and a tragic way for him to go and be out there. So.
But I mean, it's a documentary, so 0.
Yeah. So I put on something so I could just have some background noise, and that was the wrong thing to do because I was trying to read, RPGs, and I was like, "Oh, Hellboy 2 is on, the one with Ron," and I was like, "Shit, I'm not gonna be able to read this," because I watched the whole fucking show, sat there, because Hellboy with Ron is fucking amazing, and Hellboy 2 is really, really good.
I need to rewatch 2. It's been a while.
I think it's on HBO Max, so if you got that, it's on there right now for free.
I do.
It is Hellboy 2 is so good. Hellboy 1 is a great start and everything, and then Hellboy 2 came out and it built on it and so on and so forth. And then
that one's Golden Army?
Golden Army, yes.
That sounds right, yeah.
And so watching this, I mean, I've seen this numerous times, but the characters are so good. Everybody's great, which I didn't realize, but the guy that plays Abraham is also the same guy in Star Trek Discovery that plays what's his face? Saru. I didn't know it was the same person because I looked it up and I was like, "Who played Abraham?" I go, "It's Saru." I was like, "Oh, that's pretty freaking cool." Ron Perlman's Hellboy is the only Hellboy I recognize. Do it.
I think it's Doug Jones.
I don't remember his name.
Yeah, Doug Jones. Abe Sapien.
Yeah.
The story's great. It's always fun. There's plenty of good storytelling, good characters, good actors. There's an RPG for Hellboy, which I think would be a cool thing. You play part of the paranormal group, which I was like, this would make a great RPG. And of course, they have one. It's just I've never picked it up. But it's really, really, really good. I love the Goblin Market. The Goblin Market scenes and everything that's happening in Goblin Market is a ton of fun. Anytime whenever I used to play Changeling and we would go to the Fairy Market, I tell people, watch just the Goblin Market scene in Hellboy 2 and you'll get better, acquainted with what it's like and how weird it is. Everything is good. Elric, I doubt we'll ever get an Elric movie. That's so deep in. But Ron Perlman, he's one of my favorite actors. Anytime I see him in something, I'm like, I'll watch it. Sons of Anarchy, amazing in Sons of Anarchy. And he's actually, voice. Yeah, he is, and he's also he's a really nice guy too. He'll tell people to fuck off if you do people wrong. He won't hold back on it either.
I loved him in Pacific Rim too.
Yeah, he's just really good. I liked it. Hellboy Golden Army, like half a space RP. It's showing its sign a little bit in special effects, but the lines written, everything else, great movie. I have a ton of fun with it. Mizzy?
My last one is Shared with Nerd, and we are going to gush about Dragon Prince season 5.
Yep, because we got one more season to go.
Yep. This is by far my favorite season of the entire show so far.
Yeah.
For many, many reasons, including 3 little Baitlings.
And Rex Igneous.
And the ships.
And Sea Legs.
And what's his name? What's his actual name? I wrote it down. Elmer.
Somewhere.
Elmer.
Yes.
I need an Elmer. I need to make an Elmer and play Elmer. Because yes. And I've got a mini for him. I could use one of my Warbies for War Machine. Because yes. And that whole thing with Soren and just yes.
Soren, I think Soren's character development has been some of my favorite over the seasons.
Definitely. Yeah. He definitely shows a lot more evolvement, especially in this season.
Still a total himbo, but we love him for it.
Yes.
Yeah, but he's like the clumsy idiot that you love.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, Janai and Amaya, just perfection.
Yeah.
And I love that we get to see more of them in this, for sure. Just all of it is fantastic. I binged it in one sitting. Not even gonna lie to you guys. Yes, I was kicking myself because I waited so long to watch it. Gonzo.
Yes, I told her to watch this as soon as it came out. It says you're going to love it. I can't tell you anything about it because it'll ruin it. And it was freaking amazing.
I love the little anime pause moments with the Baitlings when each of them gets a name.
Yes. The Dragon Prince is what it's called, JP.
Yeah, the Dragon Prince.
Mystery of Erebos is what they've added onto it.
Yeah.
But it's just, oh my god. And the storytelling with Viren too.
Oh yeah.
That hit me in the feels. Big time. Just I love the story. I love everything they're doing with it. They haven't made me cry yet, but I feel like it's coming.
I'm sure it'll happen.
Oh yeah. This season I'm giving it 0 space herpes.
Same.
Because it's perfection. And they need to give me more now.
Yeah, for people that haven't seen this, Dragon Prince It's very much in the Avatar theme about young kids, having to take on big responsibilities. The animation is very jittery when it starts because it's like computer animated in a bit type thing. And season one, and everybody's like, "We love the story, we love these characters, but your animation sucks." And they came back and they said, "Yes, we understand that. We're sorry. We apologize." And next season, it became much much better.
Yeah, it's a mix of like cell shading and CG.
Yeah. And it came back really, really good. And the thing that really helped it out was it's very inclusive. It's considered one of the top animations for bringing exclusivity to bringing exclusive people. Also, there's a deaf character, and they actually use real sign language in it with real hand gestures that people can actually read. And it really went really, really, really well. And it was it was done very well. And it keeps better and better. There's an RPG out there if you want to get into it, and it's a good fun RPG too. So if you ever want to get into it, the board game is pretty decent. It's just something small or whatever, but it's not anything huge. I recommend it. Um, when are we playing it, Cookie? I am not playing it. Nerd is going to run it because I've already carried a character built. I have a Sun Elf built for it, and Nerd said she would run it.
Oh, so I have to. Yeah, I totally agreed to this one.
I will never run another RPG online again. So you are chosen to do that. Sorry, that's just the rules. I don't make them.
I nominate Mizzy.
Nope. I don't DM. Nope. I cause the shenanigans. I do not make them. There's a difference.
Yeah, it's a very good. The RPG is very solid. Everything's really good.
I have the RPG yet, Cookie.
Yes, she does. Resources. Yes, she does, because I have the PDF. You can't get away from that.
I don't have it yet. I will have it soon.
Okay.
It will be delivered to your email inbox soon.
Yeah. No, I own it and everything, so it's really good.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
No, I made a character just to play around with the character builder online, but
yes, they have a good character builder online, so you don't even have to have the RPG just to build a character because it's a good thing. But
if you know enough about the world, it's easy to pick.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what do you give the season 5, which there is a teaser for season 6 if you haven't seen it, by the way. I will link it to y'all when we get off of here. So
yeah, I'm gonna need that. We both said 0.
Okay. Yeah, we both said 0.
Because it's perfection.
So I did finish. So this is going to be a spoiler free. I did finish Discovery. Discovery is over and done. They only did, 10 episodes this season. This was not its best season. I'm not going to lie. There was some cool stuff that happened and cool character building. But it was rushed, and you can tell it was rushed to get it done. Because the story wasn't fully there. You didn't feel the panic. But was it good? Yeah. Was Discovery overall a good series? Yes. It has a definitive end. There is some Easter eggs, and if you're a big Trekkie and you know a lot about Star Trek history, one of them is going to make you go, holy fucking shit. But it happens at the very end. But it does give an end and what happens to the Discovery vessel. And it was okay. I'm going with Cookie. It is what it is. I will take, mediocre Star Trek over no Star Trek any day. And it still was not mediocre to begin with. It was good fun. I like the characters. I'm going to miss some of them because they were really, really good. Tilly was amazing. I love her. So I can't wait to see that. Yeah, we do have Lower Decks coming out, and it's the final season, and we also have Strange New Worlds coming. So hopefully that'll come back soon too. But I mean, overall, it was a good series. It started off one way where we thought it was going to go, and then it went from that to, in the future. And I think if they ever, we're getting Star Trek Academy soon.
Okay.
It's going to follow cadets.
We're trying to find someone a pizza when someone orders extra mushrooms.
And it's going to be. I didn't see who's playing teachers in that yet. I haven't paid attention to what's going to be happening in that, but I'm looking forward to it. But I really, 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 we really need to see futuristic Star Trek.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can't go back in the past anymore. Strange New Worlds is there and it's done. We need to see, here's the year, 875 million of Star Trek to get away from the current timeline is what we need
Yep.
to do.
Yeah.
I think so. And I don't know what timeline the cadet is.
That's what that was going to be my next question. Where does the cadet fall?
I don't think that they've said yet.
I don't know.
Holly Hunter.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Someone said Holly
Ooh.
Hunter is in there.
Ooh.
I like her. She's sassy.
Yes.
It is. I don't know. Starfleet Academy is what it's going to be called. Which is going to be good. That's a good thing for them to do, so you can see it. But I don't know what the timeline is. But you can continue doing this on and on. So it'll be really good to do. I don't know, like I said, I don't know the timeline, but I'm looking forward to it because hopefully it'll be entertaining. But I think if they ever do a Star Trek series again, it will have to be way in the future.
Yeah.
Type thing. So let me see. Mizzy Nerd?
I got nothing.
I will wait. I will hold off on Delicious and Dungeon until next week when I can get caught up. But I'll review Dead Boy Detectives.
Yes.
Absolutely loved this show. I am pissed that it's likely not going to get renewed, but
Yeah.
like I think I liked this better than Sandman. Not that Sandman.
No.
It's more in my wheelhouse. Okay, I'm not saying that it is, but I liked it better.
Yeah.
I liked it better.
I can't compare the two.
That's fair. Esther is probably one of my favorite. Is probably now one of my favorite villains that I've seen in fiction.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Yeah, I was. So what got me to watch Dead Boy Detectives was A, everybody talking about it. B, somebody going, you need to use dandelion sprites in your campaign.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I'm gonna give it 1 because it had its flaws, but I really liked the actors. I love the whole Cat King Edwin plot line. I really like the night nurse. I didn't realize that she was in Doom Patrol. She's in an episode of Doom Patrol, so she's got ties to the DC universe.
Nice.
Because Vertigo's the DC label.
Yep.
But just like there were so many unknown actors that like I'd never seen in anything else. I'm really curious to see what else they've done. But I thought as a group cast, the character, is it Mariko? I'm trying to remember what the girl across the hall's name was, and then Jenny that all live in the butcher shop. Nico? Isn't it just Nico?
I think it's Nico.
Yeah, Nico and Jenny and Crystal. Like that whole little trifecta of chaos, I really, really, really enjoyed.
Yes, her name's Nico.
Nico, thank you. Yeah, we are ready to wrap up. I was gonna say, yeah, I gave it 1.
Yeah. Just so someone did say that the new Starfleet Academy series is going to happen in the 32nd century, which is the same time as Discovery in the future. So it is going to be a future episode, which means we could see Tilly because Tilly actually is a professor at the academy during that time, so we may see her character come back.
Yes.
So,
Not going to complain about that.
no, I like her
Tilly
character.
is amazing.
Yeah, I loved her. So, because I was like, when did it happen? And so it says that it's going to be during the 32nd century, which is exactly the same time of Discovery in the future. So,
You blame me, Cookie, that's fine.
well, guys, that's pretty much the end of our show. We appreciate you listening and watching as usual. We'll try to bring some new, interesting things for you as we're going along. Who can we send you to? We've sent you to Monster Den before, and DD Bills before, and Dinah's.
Let me see who's on. Let's see if I got anybody
we
new that we
got-
can go.
Grimnir Alford? Do you know who
Oh
that is?
yeah, Grim Near
Alpha?
Alpha. That's Grim's one of my players. So yeah,
Oh,
let's go
okay.
with Grim.
Yeah, he's only got 7 people watching, so we'll
Yeah.
send you off to him. Guys, we appreciate you coming on. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Make sure you check out the Facebook page and Instagram where we're posting some stuff. We post more on Facebook. We don't do X/Twitter. We
That's
got
the only
ourselves
thing
on.
with dead name here.
Yeah. So we're not doing that, but come and jump in, check us out on Facebook. You can follow us along. We're gonna do some more product reviews and things that are coming out. So come and check out there. We'll send you off to Grim, where he's playing Destiny 2. Cool beans. Give him a follow. We will be raiding into on Wednesday. Don't forget to join us as we're painting. We're going to be raiding into a friend of mine, Erica Yoga Nerd, that does. She actually has published quite a few RPGs and is doing a lot of RPG stuff. So
Cool.
you have to check her out. She's pretty neat.
I also saw where she's doing some things with Little Bones 309
Yep.
coming up, and Myriad, and a couple of other people that are in the community. So
Yep.
that's cool.
Cool.
Just check her out. So other than that, as always, please take care of yourself. Please take care of others. If you see something, say something. If you hear something, say something. And if you can do something, please do it. If you can't, find somebody that will, because we've got to look after each other. This is a shitty time for a lot of people, and we got to make sure that we take care of everybody, all of our friends, no matter who and where they are. For More
Yeah.
Than Dice, I'm Gonzo.
I'm Nerd.
And I'm busy.
Good night.
Thanks for listening to More Than Dice, making the world a better, nerdier place, one dumb joke at a time. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. For more nerdy action or to connect with your hosts, check them out on Facebook.com/More Than Dice and Twitch.tv/more_than_dice. Until next time, stay nerdy, stay proud, and we'll see you soon on the More Than Dice podcast.